So, honestly, probably one of the most anticipated, at least for me, open world survival games that I did not know was being worked on. Uh, for those who've heard of a game called Runescape, it looks like they are going to be diving into the open world survival genre with RuneScape Dragonwilds. And that is a pretty wild thing that I never thought I would actually see. I was hoping they would take a crack at it because I think RuneScape's skilling system mixes really well with this genre in particular. It it kind of reminds me of when Pal World happened. I didn't know such a thing was. To be honest, the people who were talking about it did not do this. Describing Pal World a really good job. They advertise it as Pokemon with guns, and I'm like, that sounds stupid and gimmicky as all hell. I'm just gonna ignore that. It's probably gonna be something that content creators play because it's funny and memey. That's what I was thinking. Until someone described the game as Pokemon mixed with Ark, as an Ark Survival Evolved. And that's when it registered, and I'm like, oh, that's good. And then I looked up to see, what platforms on. And I thought it was only on Steam at first. Then I found out it was on Game Pass, and I downloaded on Game Pass and started playing it then. Um, so yeah, really, really unexpected, but a really well done crossover for monster collecting and open world survival games. And it's like, I would not mind if they did this with Dragon Quest. You kind of have that with Dragon Quest Builders, but I wouldn't mind they do another one. I would really like to see that happen. But RuneScape is one I never thought I would actually see. Like it was one of my bingo, like, I don't think it'll ever happen, but if it happens, great. And so that's one little check that I can do on for this bingo card. The other would be like a Diablo open world survival game, a Elder Scrolls open world survival game. Throw in World of Warcraft in there as well, an open world survival game in the the Warcraft universe. I'm sure there's probably more that I just can't think of at the top of my head, but yeah, those are just some of the many. But the fact that we're getting this one, and it's coming out in early access this year, according to the Steam page, I think that's where it was. 2025 spring, so it would be soon. April or maybe May would probably be the more likely dates or months. I could see it happen in June, but I'm like based on that, I'm gonna assume April or May, which is fantastic. I want to see what you have right now going for this game. I want to, I want to, I hope it's it's done really well. I'm not sure how they're doing the magic in this game. If you still need runes, or if like they reworked how runes work. Maybe you just need to collect a specific rune and then you get access to spells. I don't know how it all works with that, but hopefully you still have to gather, collect runes. Because I really like RuneScape's magic system. I think it's really different from a lot of games. An example of this, most games like the Final Fantasy games, you can maybe if you're lucky, cast some of your most powerful spells a few dozen times. But I'll be generous and say you can cast it 100 times before you run out, and then you gotta find a way to regenerate your mana, whether it be through elixirs or ethers or whatever MP recovering items that you have. Or some games like Golden Sun, you just walk around after battle and it'll slowly regenerate your magic bar, or in that case it was a synergy bar, which stood for PP, which I always found funny. Probably very intended on that. But yeah, that is something you have that you can do in there, and that's how most of these games work. This one, you need to actually gather these stones and use them. They're consumables. So for example, one mind rune, like 3 air runes, and you're casting like an air spell, like the basic air spell. Some of the more complex ones are like, a blood rune, or a death rune, and like 5 or more air runes, and then like if you're gonna use a like a different spell, like for example like fire one, you're gonna require like a certain amount of fire runes as well. So you need to have a lot more runes. It's like 10 or so runes at that point to cast one spell, but you can farm a crap ton of them. Like if you get around to gathering like millions of runes, you effectively can cast that spell a million times, you know. And if you need to regenerate your thing, you just need to gather more rune stones, like either through rune crafting, fighting monsters and collecting the runes from there, or maybe from shops. There's different ways you can collect runes. So I'm just wondering how they're going to do the magic in this game. I want to see that, but definitely something I'm looking forward to seeing. I think there's a lot of potential for this game, and maybe if the modding community really digs its nails into this, you could really have a game that people will be coming back for years to come. Now, I'm tampering my expectations. I'm not sure how well the modding community will, respond to this game. I don't know how well the foundations for this game are going to be. It looks good from the trailers that we've seen so far, at least from my perspective. Like, it seems like the foundations are there, but I want to see the whole experience. Like, obviously full release, but I'm talking about, I want to see it for myself. I want to be able to get my hands on it and play it and to see. But from all I've seen so far, it looks really good. So, probably one of my most anticipated games for this year. I can't think of any other game off the top of my head that's coming out this year that I know of. Oh wait, no, I take that back. No, it would surpass it. I was going to say the Lunar Silver Star Story, Lunar 2 Eternal Blue remasters that are coming out, I think, this month, April. But while I really want to go and play Silver Star Story again, my anticipations and like wanting to play this game is actually higher than that. So, but yeah, I really can't think of any other big games this year. Nintendo might have a few bangers coming out now that the Switch 2 is going to be coming out later this year. So, well, more than likely later this year. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm just going to have to take the wait and see approach. I think they have something coming out in the middle of April where they're going to do, like, I think, interview or talking with the developers. Let them, talk more about the game itself. So, we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm definitely really excited for this. Hopefully it ends up being good and I end up really enjoying the game. So, that's it. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.